Welcome to the third video of our Java MTA course. This is the part 6, so in part 6 we're learning more about OOP, and today we're going to be focusing on the Java Constructor. So like always, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be telling you the key points that you must remember for the exam, and then going through some questions so it'll help you cement the information as quickly as possible. Okay, so let's have a look at the key points that you need to remember for the exam. So the constructor is a method that is automatically called when an object is instantiated. If you don't know what this keyword means, I would suggest you looking at the first video in this series, which teaches you the important keywords that you will need to remember for the exam. Is a good way of thinking, or a good way of thinking about this constructor is like it's a main method for a class. What this means is that it's automatically called when the object is created. It must have the same name as the class, so the class must have the same name as the constructor. And what it's usually used for is it's usually used to add values to your class attributes. So it's a great way of adding information to your properties. So an example is, this is your class that you've built. This is the constructor. So when this is created, when this is instantiated, this information will go into the constructor, and then that constructor will go into the class properties. Okay, so there's a lot of information there. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw some questions at you and see how many questions you can answer. So a great way of learning is by doing. So we have some code here and we have 6 questions. What I would like you to do is stop the video and see how many questions you can answer. So hopefully you stopped the video. Let's see. So number 1, how many instances are created? So remember, an instance is when you create the object. So this is in our main function here. So we've created 2 instances here, one called EcoBoost and one called Roma. So those are the 2 names. So we've created 2, and those are the 2 names. Which line is the constructor on? Well, number 14 to 27 is our class. Our class's name is car. The constructor is the same name as the class. So this is the constructor. So our class or our constructor is on line 20. How is the constructor signature different from a normal method? Well, a normal method will have a lot more information. So you'll have the public access modifier, or you'll have the access modifier, or you'll have the return type, and you might have a static keyword. There's a lot of extra information that you have to put in. The constructor only has the name of the class, so they have to be the same name. So what will be outputted from the code? Well, if we look here, we have created our 2 instances, our 2 objects. We have used these values to insert the information into each one. So for example, if we print out EcoBoost at top speed, the top speed will be the first value that's inserted into the constructor, and then that information that's inserted into the constructor will be inserted into the class properties. So our first value is 115, and then we have the brand. So remember the brand here, well, that is the third value that's inserted into the constructor. So that's Fiesta. Okay, so what will be outputted would be 115 and then Fiesta, based on the instances there and their properties. What are the values for the Roma instance? What are their properties? Well, we have 198 for the top speed. We have a number of seats we have 4 number seats, and we have the Ferrari brand. So hopefully you've got all the answers right. Hopefully it makes sense. If there are any issues, leave a comment or a question and I'll try and answer it then. So before we finish, check your knowledge. So if you are able to answer this, what does the name of the constructor have to be? Then you have a good understanding of what Java constructors are. If you understand what is a constructor typically used for, then you have a better understanding. And if you are able to explain the difference between a constructor signature and a normal method signature, then I would say you have a best understanding. There is an additional challenge. Do you think every Java class needs a constructor? So this is an interesting one, and it could help you understand a little bit more about inheritance later on if you answer it. So if you know the answer, please leave a comment below. Again, if you found this video useful, please subscribe or like, and I'll see you in the next video.